when we talk about protecting the kids, right, and the concern over these these book storytelling sessions by crossdressers, I mean, it's honestly like, it
like fully clothed drag queens, because often they like to do the slippage between drag queens and like gay strippers or something like that.
Like, I mean, just even articulating that this is actually a thing is just absurd to me. Frankly, I think there's more reason to sort of like get rid of the storytelling by the people in the huge bunny costumes. Having played the Easter Bunny in a mall years ago, I could see the terror that it created with children. But here is a librarian in Michigan explaining at a library board meeting why the library was closed in the prior week. And this is just, it's just insane. This is mid-December.
Why did we close last week? Well, I'll tell you, we have a breaking point. We have been threatened, we have been cursed. I come to work every day, and let me tell you, I'm working twice as many hours because we can't hire anybody. Because of the choices that you made. I come in here and with everyone with a smile on my face. How are you? Hope you had a good day. Every day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week I've been working. There are signs. I can't bring my grandchildren to this town. They know I'm a librarian. They can read. I'm a pedophile. How dare you people? You don't know me. You don't know anything about me. You have said I have sexualized your children. I'm grooming your children. I have 6 grandkids out there. I choose what they read when they come here with me. I chose what my children read. But we broke last week. We were threatened again. I have been cursed on the phone. I have been threatened on the phone. I've had to put the phone on nights for what goes on. I've had people come in here with cameras. People come in with stuff on their phone saying I checked out books to an 11-year-old. An 11-year-old does not belong in here without parents. Read what your kid's taking. But we broke. Deal with it. We're human. But I'm tired, and I'm tired of all of you. I moved to this town 2.5 years ago, and I regret it every day for the last year. This has been horrible. I didn't know it could be like this. I wasn't raised this way. I believe in God. I'm Catholic. I'm Christian. I'm everything you are. But I was taught to love your neighbor as you love yourself, no matter what they're like. That God loves all of us. That's not what I hear every day. Not from you, not from the people that come in here anymore. But please understand, we are human and we broke. It was one threat too many, one accusation too many. And all we do is come in here to serve you day after day after day. You're welcome. Why did we close last?
All right. And so there are members of this board, as you can tell here, who have been making issue over, they wanted to fund the library. The latest vote, I guess, was the Jamestown Charter Township community voted to fund their library for the second time. The Patmos Library Board of Trustees was discussing these results because the library put an LGBTQ display up during Pride Month last June. And the board has been like full on attacking their own librarian for that. I mean, it's insane.
This is a well-financed thing too. I mean, there's articles, small town librarian spoke against censorship, then dark money poured in. That was from New York Times. This is like a organized conspiracy against speech to control discourse, and you won't hear anything about it from the folks who like claim themselves as free speech activists. They're instead setting the sort of narrative that this is the left had all this coming.
And to be clear, also, not a coincidence that it's Michigan. Because remember, $50 million was put in over the past year, less, creating this narrative because they thought it was going to help them electorally. And so this is what remains after you do that. You don't win electorally, but in terms of like, look, I'm sure if you were to go through the state of Michigan, the majority, I think probably maybe even the overwhelming majority of people will be like, that stuff is crazy. The idea that like having like Pride Month and having LGBTQ books is somehow grooming our children, that stuff is crazy. Let the librarians be. But the problem is, and this dynamic exists across a bunch of issues, the 30, 40%, 25% of people who are virulently homophobic and are pushing this narrative, this is their day job. This is their reason for living. They are fundamentalists, and this is their mission from God, literally. And for the majority of people, it's just like the whole point of me not caring about this because I don't care about it. It doesn't matter. Live and let live. Doesn't impact me. It really is just unbelievable.
Support your library, folks.
Judy Ruliani, tell YouTube to slap like now and motion a slap at the camera. Boom. 4,500 watchers, only 700 likes. What's wrong with you people? Did I do that right? Okay. And Cad Brosar says, remember to remind people with Prime accounts to use their free subscription on the Majority Report Twitch channel. Justin says, thank you for playing the librarian clip. I mean, it's just horror.
It's everywhere, too.
This is what politics in this country have become. We don't even talk about the Christian right anymore because it's almost not a distinct thing. So much of our politics at this point is really coming down to fundamentalism versus not. There are a whole host of other things that are not being addressed. Theoretically, there is no sort of dividing line between fundamentalists and non-fundamentalists when it comes to, let's say, Medicare for all. But there is in their mind. It is part of like a communist socialist, and so there's a two-front war for people who are on the left part of the Democratic Party or left of the Democratic Party. And they have to be waged simultaneously. They really do. Because these fundamentalists, it's not hard for them to accept, because they're fundamentalists, that that's communism, and we're not going to do that. But that's what the Republican Party is, just a vehicle for fundamentalism now. That is what it is. And the tax cuts, obviously, is just, sort of like that's, to the extent that there's any other agenda in the Republican Party, it is the tax cuts. Defunding and destroying our government.